Virgo, hello and welcome to your reading for August 1st through the 8th. Can you believe it? We are in the 8th month of the year. In the 8th year that we are in, we're making decisions for our hearts. And you all are getting a Mercury retrograde in your sign. Let's dive in. I'm going to pull 5 cards. Mana just jumped out, and we will have 5 cards from here, a couple cards to clarify from the Salvador Dali Tarot, and then I'll pull a final message for you all. So it looks like you guys are getting a lot of perspective from the travel that you're doing, whether that's inward journeying or outward journeying. I feel like maybe some of you guys have been working from sun up to sundown and taking time to take in all the energy that you're putting into your life. Maybe you're getting perspective on your work ethic. We have ano, which means new life. You're creating, you're a creatrix, you're taking the time and energy to manifest from a place of endless energy, and it feels like you guys are just steadfast with your goals. Ku and Hina, you might have been in a state of feeling I just got angel bumps, feeling like you needed to destroy certain repetitive thought patterns that were heightened during the emotional time of the full moon. I have the feeling that you guys are really onto something. Like you guys are building something really important. You guys are putting energy and intention into your life and work, and the Dali deck just jumped into my hand. So let's see what the last 2 cards will be, or we'll start to clarify with these 3. So we have the 3, 5, the 8 of Pentacles. So it looks like you guys have been working away, thinking of your children, thinking of your future, thinking of the legacy that you like to leave behind, and you've been putting in that work. It feels like you guys are in the 8th year, in an 8th month, making decisions to live your life based on what you would like to leave behind. And you have your inner child in mind as well as your children. Like you guys are on equal footing. Very balanced energy. The High Priest, so this speaks to the Mercury retrograde happening in your sign. It's happening in the first 4 degrees of Virgo. So it goes from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's actually 5. And it speaks to changing our thinking patterns about our daily life. You guys do rule the 6th house, regardless of which house Virgo's in for you, regardless of if you're a Virgo rising. Look at your 6th house, because that's where you're going to get the information, the antenna from God to make necessary updates, maybe in how you're communicating, maybe in how you're thinking, because Mars really does determine how what we're thinking is spoken, how we bring that out into the world, what it manifests as. Is it a conversation? Is it a bickering argument? Are you destroying not thinking patterns but relationships? So Virgo, we want to be mindful. You see that there's almost a similar energy between Ku. Ku is the god, maybe of war. I'll have to look at the card, but the High Priest is saying to connect to the divine. We see these 2 beings at the knee of this High Priest, and I just feel that you guys are honoring the creation that wants to come through you, and that's what this ano is birthing new realities through connecting to the divine and allowing for people to come sit at your knee and take in your wisdom. So it feels like you guys are actually preserving energy with this Ku card, because you did get the 10 of Cups. It speaks to maybe destroying the restrictions around your heart that would have you wanting love, wanting to be loved, because you're both loving yourself, you're loving your life, you're loving what energy you have for yourself. And the full moon, it has been a time of release for my Virgos, and I feel like you guys are very clear on what needs to go, like what you're just beyond fed up with. Like you're beyond over it, and now you're actually willing to do something about it, which feels fist bump. Kudos. Tapa, yeah, you guys are sure on what you want, what you believe in, as far as how far you can go with your love, and maybe even exploring new depths with your beloved. That's so sweet, Virgo. You guys are in a sweet spot. You're in the pocket. So we just want to be sure that you stay focused on maybe any upcoming deadlines. Papa and Wakea, maybe you need to travel in the coming months, and maybe it's unexpected travel, but maybe you're kind of ready to change your life. Maybe you're ready to develop something that goes beyond what your expectations were for you this year. Because again, we're making decisions, but it's like the heart needs to be in the driver's seat, which Leo season will teach you about. We have the Fool. Scorpio is here. Maybe there's a Scorpio in your life. Maybe you guys are a Scorpio sun with a Virgo rising. Wouldn't be surprised. But it just feels like you guys are ready to embark on a new journey in love, in romance. And on this Fool card, we see he has a butterfly on his head. So he is thinking creatively because he wants to keep this creative beauty of his imagination, of his wildest dreams, who they understand your shortcomings. Whoever this person with Scorpio energy is, they know exactly what your handicaps are, but they love you regardless. It's an unconditional, loving connection. And Papa and Wakea, I think that the travel that is absolutely unexpected is going to connect you deeper with your mission, with your purpose, with the divine, and your ability to connect to the divine, your ability to be a warrior for God, to be not a mercenary, and not a missionary, but someone who is united in their purpose and able to stop fighting with everyone because they're landlocked. Stop fighting with everyone because they don't have maybe the things that they were promised by the government. It just feels like there has to be a fresh start with your perspective, and that the Mercury retrograde sweeping through your sign is going to give you exactly that. So let's see where the moon is going over the course of this week, because we finished your tarot so quickly. We have Black Moon Lilith in your second house and the South Node. So that for you guys is allowing for you to see what can go as far as your values, as far as what you valued, what you prioritized, where your obligations were, maybe to having nice things, to having the newest gizmos and gadgets, because now you actually see that if you're not putting them to use, if you're not living a full, purposeful life driven by your desire to be fulfilled by your own work, by your own efforts, by your own life story, it's not going to do much for you. And now I actually would love to read Ku and Papa and Wakea. So that's a 5, speaking to this Mercury retrograde. It is the god of war and the goddess of healing, conflict and healing. All right, so let's read this. Ku is most feared for being the god of war, sacrifice, and sorcery. On the day that an attack was planned, a kahuna searched the skies for signs of victory or defeat. If the kahuna saw an unfavorable omen, the attack would be postponed. If this happened more than 3 times, the confrontation would be avoided completely. Human sacrifice may not have always been practiced in ancient Hawaii. Some believe that Ku, along with the practice of human sacrifice, was brought to the islands from Tahiti by a man named Pa'au. Ku's sorcery is called Ku Waha'ilo, Ku of the maggot mouth. As a god of sorcery, Ku is associated with the practice of ana, praying someone to death. So let's not do that. Let's pray one another to life, Virgo. Let's speak life and love and intention into all that we're creating, into our healing, into our bodies, because maybe you guys are discontent with how your body is serving you, but you need to affirm that my body is a house for my soul. And then I want to read the interpretation of Ku. Ku's appearance indicates that there are powerful feelings that may be in need of healing. You may need to engage in a confrontation or a conflict. And with that, we have the 10 of Cups. So it feels like the conflict needs to be resolved within you, within how you show up in the world, how you perceive yourself, how you feel about your physical vessel. Conflict appears to be an inevitable part of human affairs, so do not despair. A successfully managed conflict can pull a relationship, this is that relationship, 10 of Cups, out of a rut, renew and strengthen a connection. Conflict may show you what is worth fighting about. It's not always inevitable, and it's sometimes better avoided. However, sometimes confronting a situation is the most appropriate course of action. When you confront a situation, you take all the risk that it may turn to a conflict. Avoiding conflict at all costs may be a sign of emotional weakness, so you don't feel like you have the capacity to heal yourself and your beloved connections, the connections that you be loving. Which this avoidance will prostrate you to the needs and whims of others, sacrificing your prosperity, which is what this Ten of Cups represents, an emotional wealth and or integrity. Ku is highly psychic and sensitive to criticism because he feels and remembers everything. Therefore, when you feel you need to confront a situation, consider whether or not it's really worth fighting for. So with Mars in conjunction to Jupiter, they are in a 6-degree orb. There is a sense of a need to choose our battles wisely, to really take heart before we spark a revolution, to be maybe, what did we have? The Papa and Mukea. Get that perspective on who we're fighting for or against. Are we fighting for the divine? Are we fighting for our relationships? Are we fighting for that mind-blowing travel that we're going to have? Even if it's internal travel, if it's internal journeying, to get to have perspective, to have a story to tell, to have something to share of yourself with the world in a greater regard. Again, you guys right now are really growing through a lot, because you're going to have this Mercury retrograde from the first 4 degrees of your sign, so 0 to 4, which is a total of 5. You're changing your mind about your vibe, about who you are, how you show up in the world, and that is your daily life. And then it's going to retrograde into your 12th house, maybe how you're communicating with the divine, how you're receiving your insights, how you're receiving your intuitive nudges. And this is something that is starting you on a new journey to weave something of meaning in your life, to have beautiful stories to tell and to hand down to your descendants. I'm not sure what this this letter is, but it looks like it's from the Torah. So let's pull a sacred symbols card. Ooh, this says past life. So you might have some past life energy to work through for that healing, and you might have the ability to start remembering everything, but using it in a way that allows for your conflicts to be mitigated by your heart, to where you understand how much energy you will give to healing that situation, rather than sparking more for the sake of being at battle with everyone, needing to be the first, the best, the brightest, the most right, rather than using this past life energy to love the vibration that you share with the world and love who you are from a sincere place. Virgo, thank you so much for tuning into your reading, and have a fantastic week. I will see you all next time. Aloha.